Stay the fuck away, stay the fuck away. Stay the fuck away, stay the fuck away. Hey kids, Sean Patrick here. Now, first of all, a viewer mentioned how stressed I looked in my last post. Now, this was because my health condition had taken a turn for the worse. The last while has been some of my worst days. But today is one of my best days in memory. And check this out. I can do this, and I can even do this. Whee! Ah, my leg! Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh, there's something in my eye. Oh, fuck. Ah. Well, the reason I'm having such a good day is due to the amazing help I've been getting from my Chinese medicine practitioner. She's helped me so much, and I want to thank her, but I doubt that she wants to be associated with something like this shit show. So thanks, Cairo. Now, to continue with the positiveness here, and to indirectly promote something else that an old friend is doing, I want to talk about Riot. Now, Riot is an acronym for Roll Your Own Tobacco. They make all kinds of cannabis accessories that I would be happy to test, and if they're good, I would promote. Or just send me a t-shirt, Mr. Vice President, and I'll talk about your stuff that I already have tested. Okay, so now on with the asshole reporters. Earlier this week, an idiot asked Minister Patty Hydew how many deaths it would take before the federal government acted. What? Look, we've all heard the feds listing what they've done in response to similar questions, so if I was Minister Hydew, I would have put my mask back on, jumped over that desk, jerseyed the motherfucker, and beat them until I was pulled off. This sort of thing is why I started ranting publicly. I thought for a long time that journalists were going home at night and getting their 5-year-olds to write questions that they then spin with venom. But now, I think that these people are just more interested in trying to get noticed than actually helping get information, which is their fucking job. You're not helping, you're hindering. No, it's actually up to temperature now. And speaking of hindering, last night CBC National ran a piece saying that many people in the world won't be vaccinated until 2023, and then later had a piece about airlines trying to get people traveling again. Now, while I understand that a business needs customers to stay in business, vacationing abroad is one of the most dangerous and largely unnecessary things we can do right now. Even though the piece was trying to seem as if the focus was the fact that WestJet was giving voluntary people the swab and the spit test to further studies into the efficacy of said spit test, to in any way encourage travel right now is disgustingly irresponsible. And here's the proof. An 18-year-old honors student in pre-med from the US went vacationing in the Cayman Islands. There they have a very strict 14-day quarantine for visitors, which they also use a tracking bracelet to enforce. The day after she arrived, she called the public health department complaining that the bracelet was too tight, so they loosened it. The following day, she managed to remove the tracking bracelet so that she could attend a jet ski competition that her resident boyfriend was competing in. Cops were called and they were both arrested. They were originally sentenced to pay a fine and do 40 hours of community service each, but the prosecutors appealed, saying that that was too lenient. And so the judge upped it to 4 months in jail. Her mother reportedly said that her daughter has had several negative tests since her arrival there and asked why does she have to be the one that is made an example of. Well, holy fuck. This was a seriously premeditated undermining of health and safety protocols, and I still think the sentence was too light considering what we all know about drumphitis and the fact that she's in pre-med. They shouldn't even let her back in that program. So she's had several negative tests since, but she didn't know whether or not she had drumphitis when making and executing this plan. And as far as why she's being made an example of, I don't know for sure. But it looks like this is the first time the Caymans had to deal with such a fucking idiot. If not, I just plain approve of a society that stands behind its word. That is how we need to deal with this very real, very dangerous worldwide health threat. And thanks to people like her, and the asshole who falsely claimed to have COVID to get a day off work, which resulted in their employer's restaurant being shut for several days to get a severe disinfecting, and the prick who opened his diner like it was 2019, and anti-maskers, my Christmas will not be spent with my sister and her children and various friends as always, but it'll just be me, my producer, who is no longer sitting there because the bulls scared him, and imaginary Sandy will be having Christmas poutine together. Oh, come on. No, I didn't mean it like that. No. Okay, so maybe not even imaginary Sandy. But the fact is, we could do something incredibly risky and against health regulations today and maybe kill someone or die, or we can put on our big person pants, suck it up for now, and hope that next Christmas will be different. Oh, and another fact is that if it wasn't for the aforementioned douchebaggery, if people were actually adhering to the basic public health guidelines, we'd be able to have a near normal Christmas this year. Instead, we are demanding that the government do more while we purposely undermine it. And that, my friends, is how Trump leaves the White House. So just before I go, I want to point out that this is technically my 50th YouTube post. And I say technically because I had to do one of my shows in 2 posts due to my lack of editing ability. So I'm actually considering my next one as my 50th. And I have something special planned for that. So until then, kids, wear a mask, stay the fuck away from each other, and wash everything. A lot.